Hi everyone, I'm Michael from FrenchCreek Fall Safety, and today we're going to be going over how to install a rail system on a fixed ladder. So before we get started, it's important to note that this video is covering how to install a rail system on a fixed ladder that has already been put into place. For ladder systems that have yet to be installed, to make sure that if possible, your rail system is already on the ladder before you put it up. That'll save you a whole lot of effort, especially when you're dealing with much taller ladders. In the one we're using for this example today, we've got about a 20-foot ladder, so we only have to do one segment. Another important thing to note is that the ladder in this example is going to be an outdoor ladder. This is not in a confined space, so if you are going to be working in a confined space, there are likely going to be some challenges you'll have to deal with. Specifically though, you might need additional equipment for a safe installation, as well as the user's requirements for being tied off to a secure point. There's a couple things that you're going to need to know before you can order the rail, let alone install it. The first of which is the height of your ladder that you're working on. The second thing that you need to take into account is the shape of the rungs on your ladder. Now for this example, we have rectangular rungs, but they come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. You have circular rungs, diamond rungs, and you also have L shapes. So whatever you have, make sure that you let us know when you place an order. That way we can have the appropriate bracket for your ladder. One more thing to take into account is the spacing between individual rungs on your ladder. When measuring your rungs, you start below one rung and then you measure up to the bottom of the rung above it. These ones are exactly a foot apart, and that's not always going to be standard, so make sure you double check. That'll help determine how many brackets you're going to need on your ladder. And speaking of brackets, it's important to note the distance between each bracket on your rail system. Ideally, between 4 to 6 feet per bracket is what you want to get. The 4 to 6 foot distance allows for any needed wiggle room when it comes to ladders' rung spacings. Since not all ladders are built the same, you might not be able to get exactly 4 to 6 feet, so anywhere in between will work. Prior to installation, you can save a lot of time and effort by pre-marking where your brackets need to go and sliding the bolts into the rail and then holding them in place with a piece of tape or something that's easily removable. Before installation, make sure you have your personal safety gear in mind. If there's an SRL above the ladder where you are working, you can use that. But in the situation where it's not available, a dual leg lanyard or SRL on the back will suffice instead. As long as you have 100% tie-off, you can install the ladder with no issues. Since we're only installing one section of rail and it is on the ground, I'll be having someone lift the rail up to me while I'm at the top of the ladder. Starting at the top will prevent the rail from wanting to lean backwards, and it'll make overall installation much easier. It's important not to lose any of your equipment while you're working on the rail system, so having a tool belt that you can keep all the brackets and nuts and bolts in makes the process a lot easier. Alright, so we are currently at the top of our ladder and we are fixed in place by a rebar chain assembly. All I'm going to have to do is get it centered on the ladder and attach brackets to the top, and then as I go down, every 4 to 5 feet. So here's an example of why we pre-marked those bracket points. Now these two bolts, they're just going to stay right where we left them. If you have any questions in regards on how to use and maintain a FrenchCreek Fall Safety vertical rail system, you can always find information available in the user manual that is shipped with every system. If you have any questions that are outside the scope of that book, you can always reach out to our Facebook page, our customer service number, or you can find us on our website at fcsafety.com, and you can reach out to us via our contact page. Have a good day and stay safe.